Muna, Tina Gata and Dede, Tiwa, Hawa, Fatu Musu and Jebe, Kima, Muna, Tina.
Amanda, aweto. Amanda, aweto. My puye, Iliberia, my Jowya, Double
String.
Aha, y'all want to roll the punch of giant right to take over.
Like
Y'all want to roll beef, Papa come here again. Y'all want to roll Papa Georgie come here again.
You're not able to take care of Babu. You're not able to bust the right of Babu.
But when I saw you standing with 2 crests over there, what you were discussing with them?
Hila, I was not telling them anything about loving you. I was telling them about CDC due payment.
I thought not true. I know that CDC due payment over.
No, did I? Enough finish yo. Now let me explain the whole due payment to you. That program they had on April 12th is just to tell all sedition, reaction, and sympathizers that we will start paying due for now to 2030 and all the way.
So I want to ask you, the way some all not there. How will care what you book?
Abolida, the thing is, just go straight to CDC party headquarters and you request for your book. The people will give it to you. Anytime you go there, the people will be there. Don't worry yourself. In fact, the people get a mobile money number. If you file or you know you can make it, just send it straight on their mobile money number. And as soon as you send it on the mobile money number, the people will send your receipt straight on your website, or you go pick up your receipt and your due book right to your district office. I mean, the district that you live in. You can also pay to the bank. You can go to UPA or GT Bank. When you finish paying that money, they will give you one pink paper. Then you will carry it to the party headquarters or your district office. Then the people will verify it. They will give you your original receipt and your due book. And don't forget that only $1 US or $200 liberty you will pay every month. If you want to pay more than that, no problem. Because this party called CDC have to survive. And the mobile money number is 0886 097451. Amanda, my puye, Iliberia, my Jowya, Double
string.
Aha, y'all want to roll the punch of giant right to take over.
Like
Y'all want to roll beef, Papa come here again. Y'all want to roll Papa Georgie come here again. Y'all want to roll Mama Joe come here again. Who want to roll CDC come here again. Now they walk country giant come here so. Better move and roll. I say you're better move your phone. It's about to get away. We come here again. Who wanna roll CDC come here again? Who wanna roll job? We are coming again. Who wanna roll Mama Joe? We come here again. Open the roll CDC come here again. Now the whole country giant coming so.
Hello, and a warm welcome again to another edition of the CDC Hour. The CDC Hour is a 1 hour, a 60-minute top provocative program on Kings FM 88.5 and Clar TV. It's all about looking into activities of the CDC from now till 2017 and beyond. So the CDC Hour delves into activities of the CDC. It talks about the CDC. It talks about its activities. It talks about its leadership. It talks about also other national issues across the country. And I'm here today is Monday, May 5, 2025. And I'm your host, Ishaka Sharif. I come right back after a bit of our team song.
Coalition for democratic change. Now the whole country champion and coming so. You better move on the road. I say you better move your road. You keep rising your way.
Thank you so much and welcome back to the program. Today we will be, as usual, talking about some of the activities of the CDC, including the due payment that was launched on April 12th But today we'll be passionately talking to our partisans and sympathizers across the country, our well wishers, people who want to affiliate with the CDC, new people who want to join the party, and people who want to form part of party activities across the country. CDC was founded in 2004 and certificated in 2005 and contested its first presidential and legislative elections in October 2005. And from then on, 21 years running, the CDC has been a solid political party with a solid base. The grassroots foundation is solid. And so it is even on the shoulders of that grassroots the party stands today. We have contested election 2005, 2011, 2017, 2023, and we are fast approaching 2029. 4.7 years is not anything long again. The government has. So seditions, I think you gotta start making yourself ready. You gotta start getting yourself ready to jump into the bushes, into the trenches, and campaign for the CDC. But even prior to that, there are a lot of different activities that are coming up for the CDC. We launch the due payment. The ADICA program will soon be launched. People will have to take their national identification card of the CDC, and so we are going to decentralize that all across the country. The CDC is gearing up for major activities, county tour of His Excellency President George Manuel Weah, the party's leadership led by its chairman, Honorable Janga Augustus Kowo, and the entire National Executive Committee. That planning is being done, and a lot of different things the CDC will be involved in. But the hottest now is the due payment. As the dues are being paid, the party is, gearing up to start constructing a lot of different things, including some party offices across the country. The party is thinking about contemplating on launching a financial aid program, that is financial aid for people who might not be able to pay tuition. For example, the party is about to launch all of that, and so all of that is going to come from your dues that you paid. We understand that since the due payment was launched, there are people who've paid 3 years upfront, 2 years upfront, 1 year. People have paid for 6 months, 5 months, 3 months, 1 month, what have you, in the different categories of due paying members. And so the party is getting very solid. The CDC is here to stay. The CDC is a party that is here to make an indelible imprint on Liberia's democracy, the democracy we've benefited from, that our forefathers constructed with their sweat and blood. And we are here as a party to make that democracy flourish going forward. Also, there are a series of things going on. For example, the CDC, along with other 6 political parties in the opposition, met recently, and they set up a national secretariat called the Rule of Law Secretariat to draft a policy document as to how we can move forward on this issue of legislative impasse, especially at the House of Representatives, that the government has, vehemently rejected or failed to work with the opinion of the Supreme Court, the final ruling of the Supreme Court as to the Bill of Information as filed by Honorable Speaker J. Nati Kofa. And so these are some of the activities the CDC is currently having. But the due payment is the most cardinal issue in the CDC right now. Like I said, it was launched on the 12th. People have started paying. A lot of people have paid. The party has raised a lot of money, and the party also want to raise even more money. And so, on the basis of that, modalities are being worked out to decentralize it to the district, to your counties, and make sure that you can be able to pay a due without hindrance. So, the dues are being paid in different categories, 16 different categories. the National Executive Committee people, former ministers and heads of agencies, former deputy ministers and deputy heads of agencies, former assistant ministers and former directors. We have a former, we have also stalwarts of the party. We have the National Youth League and National Women's League in one category. We have the National Auxiliary Network, and we have also the zonal leadership. We have the district leadership, the county leadership. All of them are in different categories to pay dues. We will continue to read to you those numbers, those avenues through which you can pay your due. But the most effective way to pay your due is through mobile money. Mobile money's numbers have been launched, and people are making use of it from different counties, from Bapolu, from Riverside, from Bong, Nimba, Bassa, Cape Mabomi, and all of that, Monserrado, Magibi, other parts of the country. People are making use of that to pay their dues. So it is a process that is not as tedious as you would think. Uh, just uh, just go ahead and get some of the numbers we've been reading to you. For example, we have GT Bank accounts, we have accounts with UBA, we have mobile monies accounts with both Orange and Lone Star Cell. And some of those numbers will continue to be read to you on the program as we move forward, like the GT Bank account number, United States dollars account number, for example, is 203 331 293210. 203 331 293210. That's the United States dollars account number at GT Bank for the CDC dues. The Liberian dollar account number at GT Bank is 203 331 293110. 203 331 293110. We also have UBA account number, titled CDC due account. So it's 530 303 102603. 530 303 102603. The Liberian dollar account number is 530 303 102612. 530 303 102612. We also have mobile money numbers, like I said, both with Orange Liberia and Lone Star Cell. Okay, the Orange Liberia mobile money number for the CDC bank, for the CDC due payment is star 144 star 253 star 920 6002 hatch. Again, USD account number is star 144 star 253 star 920 6002 hatch. The Liberian dollar account number mobile money on Orange Liberia is star 144 star 164 star 9206002 hatch. Again, the Liberian dollar account number on mobile money for the CDC due payment is star 144 star 164 star 9206002 hatch. Then we have the loan mobile money on Lone Star Cell for CDC dues. It is star 156 star 3 star 0886 097 451 hatch. So you dial star 156 star 3 star 0886 097 451 hatch. If you cannot do any of those, that is, if you cannot pay through mobile money or through the bank accounts, but you find yourself around Congo Town, especially around the headquarters of the CDC, you could easily walk through the party headquarters, go to the finance office, and pay your due in cash, in person. Okay, just go ask for the finance office, and then you can deposit your dues. Once your due is deposited, your receipt will be written and given to you, signed, and then also your due book will be given to you. Okay, and so right after this process, the party will be launching the ID card, the national ID card, the CDC national ID card drive. So once you call yourself a partisan of the CDC, you would have been able to show somebody your national identification card, the CDC ID card. So, oh, I'm a member of the CDC. I'm not only a sympathizer, I'm a member. I'm a due paying member. You show your receipt, you show your due book to somebody, you show your ID card. That makes you a full fledged member of the CDC. There are people there are people who are not even members of the CDC right now. They are affiliating with the party, but they they have started paying dues already, and they are gradually going to being members of the party, and so but they are paying dues. Okay, and I can assure you, it is not only you seditians that are paying dues. Other people are paying dues as well to the party. People from the government, okay, senior government officials, junior government officials are trooping every day, whether in the night or whether. I mean, they're paying dues to the party because they are seeing the rescue train derailing so fast, and so they are calling every day, every night. How can I pay my due? Some of them are paying $1,000 cash, $2,000 cash based on the category they want themselves to be attached. So it shouldn't surprise you. Okay, there are people in the government. People in the government. Let me say again, people in the government are paying dues to the CDC. The only thing we're going to be as responsible as we can. We will not we will not reveal the identities of those people because confidentiality is an issue in this country, and so we are going to be very confidential with their identities. But rest assured, the government is not safe. The government is not trading on the right path, and so people are jumping out of the train because the train is derailing, is wrecking, and so those government officials are seeing reason to cross over to the CDC so soon. But you're gonna see most of that coming to fruition, coming to light in 2027, 2028. That when everybody will start taking sides, showing themselves as other seditions, or I mean, there's going to be a dichotomy between blue and green from 2027. It could happen for some people as early as 2026, you know, but that when the government would have realized that they're not gonna do anything, so the CDC is here to stay, like we've said. We have a very structured, responsible national leadership uh, in the counties. We have CDC diaspora. As a matter of fact, the chairman of the CDC USA, the chairman of CDC USA, will be appearing on this show on Friday. Yeah, he's going to be a guest way from the United States. He's going to phone into this show on Friday. He's going to be a guest chairman, Yaya Talata Sharif, who's the chairman of CDC USA. He's going to explain more on Friday about CDC activities in America. As a matter of fact, when we were launching the due payment here on the 12th of April, those guys themselves, in the diaspora, CDC, USA, Canada, Belgium, notably Holland, the guys themselves were, simultaneously, launching that the CDC due payment program. They launched it, they celebrated it, and they have begun, they've already started paying their dues to the party. Some of them through same wave, through Zelly, especially people that are in Europe. That's the system, the financial system they use to send money. They are sending money to the party's account every day as I speak to you. And so the party is generating lot of financial resources so that we can be able to be financially independent. We can be able to be independent to fund our activities, elections, educational foundation, to also fund. As a matter of fact, there will come a time when, especially when we are proceeding to elections, whether legislative election or presidential election, the party always have something called primaries. Okay, it is done both for presidential candidates, vice presidential candidates, and legislative candidates for senators and representatives. You know, once we once the party elects somebody, for example, in District 15, where I live, Montserrat County, right? Once a party elects a partisan on its ticket the for the seat at the House of Representatives, the party will now want to at least take up the financial burden of that individual at even at 20%, 30%, 25%. So we're not going to leave it. We're not going to leave it unilaterally with the candidate himself or herself to get fried, because sometimes financial constraints, the candidates can meet a lot of different financial constraints, other constraints, so it can enable them to run campaign, to bankroll their campaign effectively in terms of finance. So if the party can pay up to 25%, even 20%, and the candidate contributes 80% or 75% or even 70% of their own, financial cost to get elected, it becomes a very good thing. So, but it cannot happen in a vacuum, okay? Especially if people do not pay dues. So the due payment is intended to resolve some of those outstanding financial issues of candidates, okay, in elections to come. So for example, we have a, a we have a school, right? We have a school at the headquarters of the CDC called Muna Tech, named in honor of the late District Number 9 Representative Muna Pelham Youngblood. Okay. That school was built by the CDC, it was launched, it was financed by the CDC. And so in order to keep the wheels of that school turning, we must be able to shoulder as a party its financial burdens, you know, because once we are financially stable, financially independent as a political institution, the issue of institutionalization of our party, where we will not be going to standard bearers or political leaders or senatorial candidates or representative candidates to bankroll some of the activities of the party, will come to fruition. Uh, Once we have money in our account, we can withdraw it and spend it however we want to spend it, very scrupulously, with some kind of accountability attached to it. But as I speak to you, there is a process of, decentralization of the due payment. The chairman and myself spoke yesterday, Sunday. I spoke to the head of the finance department of the due payment. Recruitments are being done currently. Some accountability structure is being set up, to decentralize the due payment to the districts, because a lot of people who've been calling me on a daily basis are always asking, "Oh, Mr. Sharif, We want to pay our dues, but some of us are in Bapolu, or some of us are in Magibi, some of us are in Jide, Grand Jide, some of us are in Bassa. We're not able to come to town like that, frequently. We don't frequent in town. And so, how do we pay our dues? Can the due payment be decentralized to our districts, to our counties? Sometimes you get dumbfounded when you are asked some of those questions, especially if you are clueless, about some of the activities. But I'm not as clueless. I mean, as other people would be. And so I'm informed about the due payment issue. So the party is setting up that structure, so I can assure you in the next 3 weeks or 4 weeks, the party will be coming to you the people. Because when we talk about the grassroots foundation of the CDC, we are talking about you, the ordinary people, with no disrespect, on whose shoulder the party rests. It is you that go out there to vote for the party in times of elections. It is you that take your T-shirts to the printers to print. You spend your own financial resources, and that has happened from 2005 up to now, up to the last election. Uh, Even now that it's not election time, I can see new printings. Printings on T-shirts. People are printing CDC T-shirts. In fact, people ask me every day, "Do you have CDC? Do you have any CDC paraphernalia?" CDC paraphernalia now is becoming a hot cake. Is becoming like a gold dust around the country. Even some of those wrappers that were printed for the election in 2023, we are seeing some of those wrappers, and then you pass all in the districts, even the people that won the election, right? People that won the election, that paraphernalia are not as you know visible as the CDCs. If you go to the district, you go to West Point now, you go to Nikru Town, you go to Clarendon, you see women, you see men wearing CDC paraphernalia. I mean, they will sew CDC wrappers with shirt. Some of them will sew CDC. I mean, just started wrapper like that. Or in the CDC t-shirts, CDC berets, caps, all in the districts, in the counties. Very visible. So it makes me to understand that this party is deeply rooted. The party is deeply rooted, intrinsically rooted into the hearts and minds of the people, right? Because if if you are not if you're not affiliating, or you're not a member of the CDC, right? Why would you just go and get bank on taking the party's t-shirts, wrappers, caps? Some people got 5, 6 different components of the party's paraphernalia and wearing them. Today they will wear beret, tomorrow they wear cap, the other tomorrow they wear wrappers, t-shirts, and you know, and people are not ashamed to wear their party t-shirts. They wear their party paraphernalia. And so it is good. It makes you to understand how people love this party, the level of love people have for their political institution. Okay, people do not want to sit on the fence, because if you sit on the fence and you don't drop on one side or you don't drop on the other side, whenever something comes, it goes over you. And so a lot of people have seen reason now to support the CDC. People are coming up. People have been calling me, how can I join the party? I send them to the headquarters. I give them the numbers. They go, and some of them, as soon as they go, they pay 3 months, 4 months in due. They join the party. They are neat. Look, array of people are going to the party headquarters every day and joining. Some of them are going to district headquarters and joining in the counties and seeking membership of the party. That is how this party is right now. As I speak to you, President George Weah is in a very strategic political planning process to lead his opposition responsibly to a decisive victory in 2029. So, seditionists who are out there and who've been a little bit skeptical about the CDC and its activities, I can assure you, rest assured today that the CDC is very informed. The CDC is very aware of what's going on. The CDC is following keenly the political, economic, and legal situations in the country. And the CDC is not going to let you down. The CDC is working around the clock, but we have to work very smart. We have to work responsibly so that, because we don't want to inherit a country in chaos. We don't want to inherit a country in tatters. We want to inherit a country that is peaceful, just as we handed it over to the current irresponsible United Party administration. We thought by this time now the country will be reconciled. We thought by this time now the economic situation of the country will improve. We thought by this time now the political situation in the country will improve, because, like President George Weah said, he said, I did not hand over power on the basis of weakness. Not that I'm weak, but it is because of Liberia's cherished democracy that we have fought for over 20 years, since the silencing of the guns. Since the end of the war, Liberia has gone through democratic transition from 2017, and the second, 2018, and the second one was in 2024. Because after the war, right after the war in 2023, warring factions went together in Accra, Ghana, and signed a comprehensive peace agreement which ended the war. And then the first democratic election was in 2005, during which Ellen Johnson Sirleaf was elected president of this republic. Okay, that was a transition from war to peace, to democracy, from militancy to democracy, where, a militancy when more than 250,000 of our compatriots lost their lives in a carnage, bloodshed, bloodletting. And so Ellen Johnson Sirleaf was elected 2005, and then in 2018, January 22, 2018, there was the first democratic transition after the war, and the first transition from one civilian government to another in over 70 years. Okay, in over 70 years. Yes. So the second transition from one democratically elected president to the other was in 2024, January 22nd, when President George Weah gave the baton of leadership, handed over the baton of leadership to President Joseph Newman Boakai, who was the eventual winner of the 2023 presidential election. But the whole country had thought that by this time now, we will be a very viable country governed by the constitution of our republic. But sadly today, the very government that should be protecting the constitution, that should be protecting lives and properties, that should see the constitution as the Magna Carta for the governance of the country, is now the same government trampling on the rights of people, on the constitution. Okay, and so once you do that, you create an avenue for confusion, because once the country is divided deeply, because the only thing that separates this country right now, the only thing that separated the country in 2023 was 17,000 votes. 17,000 votes. That is less than the entire voting population of district number 16 of Montserrat County, even district number 10. Okay, that is less than a district of registered voters, right? So if you win with that kind of razor-thin margin, a margin that is as thin as a razor blade, right? You don't lead a country in this manner. What you do, you mend the fences you make new friends, you extend olive branch, you call the opposition, because the country is for political practice and civil society, right? Civil society meaning the media, meaning and I mean local NGOs, meaning all different civil society that are in advocacy, in activism. The country is for everybody, so you cannot continue to lead a country with an iron fist, especially violating the law, because the fundamental difference between us human beings and the animals in the jungle is the law. The reason why you see the lions, the tigers, they prey on other animals is because of the lack of law in the jungle. So it's obviously the survival of the fittest. Once you, it is not about authority, it's about power. Okay, once you overpower your friend in the bush, you prey on him. Okay, that's the difference between us and the animals. The law here with us, the human beings, the law constrains you from doing certain things. Yes, it is the laws that constrains you. The law say do not kill. The law say do not steal. The law say don't do many different unorthodox things, because once you do them, right, we're going to use the law to punish you. That's why people are in jail. That's why people are in the prisons. Okay, but if we that should be abiding by the law on which the country sits, by the law that runs the country, because President Buakai was elected, the government was elected on the basis of the law. We held we held the election in 2023. There was a first round, right? But President George Weah won the first round of the election slightly, with a slight margin, right? But the reason why he did not become president for a second term was because he did not meet the threshold as set by the law. The law said 50% plus one vote to be president. And so the president fell short of 50% plus one. And so we had to go back to vote in a runoff. So had it not been the law, President George Weah would have automatically won the election in the first round and automatically been president of Liberia again. But because of the law say you can't get 49% and win. You can't get 50% and win. Once you have 50% of the vote, without that one vote that reduces your opponent's vote to 49.9999%, you're not president. You're not going to be declared president. And so on the basis of that, President Weah did not win the election. And so it is that law, it is on the shoulders of that law that this government came. And so if you decide now to flout the law, to violate the law, I think the best thing we can do is to go to South Beach, that's the Monrovia Central Prison, open the wire and put all of the prisoners outside. Go to Zredru, go to Beta Yala, put all of the prisoners outside, because they are in the prisons constrained by the law. It is the law that took them to prison because they violated the law that governs the country. They violated the law that governs the country. So that's why they are confined. They are confined at a prison as a punishment for the iniquities they have committed against the state. Because their crime is against the state. And the crime right now, for example, of the majority bloc, the self-styled majority bloc at the House of Representatives, is against the state. It is tantamount to a coup. It is a coup because once the Constitution is being subverted, yes, to illegally attempt to remove a democratically elected speaker. is a coup. That's why in the framework, in the wisdom of the framework of the law, they say simple majority to elect a speaker. But if you want to remove him, absolute majority in this case is 37 to elect a speaker and 49 vote to remove him. So why did the constitutional say 37 to elect the speaker and 37 to remove him? It says 37 to remove, 37 to elect and 49 to remove. Because the constitution, the framers of the law knew that this day would have reached. This day could reach. And so this is where we are. And so we will pause a little bit and take some few calls on 0772 239933, 0886 304497 or 0777 980375, 0772 239933, 0886 304497, or the female line exclusively for female is 0777 980375. You know we love our sisters, we love our mothers, so we give them one free line to call. Do we have a caller there? So if we don't have a caller, we can continue the program. Okay, we can continue the program until we can take our first caller. And so this is where we are. This is where we are. The CDC is very much abreast of these situations in the country, and rest assured that the party is working around the clock. Hello.
Hello, brother.
Yes. Please tune down the volume of your radio. You are hurting my ears.
Okay. No, okay, we smoke.
Yes. Okay.
I'm okay now.
Yes, I think you're better. Your name and let's hear you. Welcome to the CDC Hour.
My name is Dallas Gray. I join you from Bon County, Pacific to Bapuru Town.
Bon County.
Yeah.
How's our signal there?
Brother, the whole government of Joseph Boga want to bring war in the country. And when the majority, the so-called majority black want to continue, the war that they want in the country will fight there, and then will not kill our brother and sister again.
No, we don't want to fight. We don't want to fight war. If you fight war, you will not go to school. If you fight war, you will not do business. If you fight war, you will not do anything. People will take that bundle and mattresses on their heads. We don't pray for that. No, it's not going to be the best.
That will be the better.
I will not be sitting in studio here if we fight war. No. No, I don't think we should revert it. But I mean, have you paid your dues?
Yeah, for me, like my plan. To do.
To do what?
All right. So thank you, brother.
Thank you. And so we don't pray. We don't pray to go to war. A war, God forbid, could jeopardize the progress of the country for the next 50 to 100 years. Every 1 year you fight war for, the country goes backward for more than 25 years. So to destroy is easy, but to build is very difficult. So we don't pray for that. So that's why a lot of people who are asking me, why is the CDC doing? Are we not protesting? Are we not demonstrating? Look, to protest needs some strategic planning. It needs a smart workout. Okay, so we're not going to protest to put the country into problem. So we will protest. The CDC will definitely protest. But that protest is being planned consultatively, not with only the CDC, but the entire opposition. So you can begin to get ready that the CDC is leading other political parties to draft a framework to make to make sure where the country heads in the next few months. And so we're not just going to jump in the street to protest just loosely. We're not going to be talking loosely. Unlike we are talking now, we are very responsible in our utterances. But again, the CDC will not sit supinely and allow its rights the rights of his partisans to be trampled upon. Okay? We are not going to do that. We have given the government the benefit of the doubt. We gave the government a whole year of honeymoon. I'm saying it came to power. We give them a whole year of honeymoon. Now they are in 1.5 years now. 1 year, 5 months. And so okay, I think we have a caller.
Hello?
Yeah, hello.
This is Mom calling from Fifth Street.
Oh, Mom Mary.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. You know that I want to get something clear, the woman. You know, in our community, the people plenty here. And every time some of them, when they ask me, your weight.
Which community?
I'm checking your please make it. The town is too hot. It's good to drink the soup. Please, people getting cold now. Just waiting.
Which community, Mom Mary? Which community?
Fifth Street, Plumco.
Oh, 5th Street, Plumco.
Yes.
Okay. That is District 8, right?
Yes, District 8.
That's it. That's the Akaros Gray District.
Yes.
You know, so one thing I can assure them, if they are listening from Plumco, okay.
Yeah.
The party, and part of that process, we are currently setting up different teams to move to the district to collect our dues. But you know, Ma'am Mary, we can't come to your district and collect the dues without any framework being set up, without any system being set up.
Yeah, that one.
Because once we collect the due, once you pay the due, you register directly in the system, so that when even you go for your receipt, when you go for a due book, once you call your name, you register in the system already that Ma'am Mary has paid her due, and the money goes directly to the party's account. You understand that? So we are coming to the district, but even at that, I know people sometimes they can find themselves to the headquarters sometimes. So once you are around there, you can go inside there, pay your due, they give you a receipt, they get your due book, and then
with me, when the due book are not getting here.
Okay.
But I already pay my due. I'm not getting a due, but I pay same day.
Okay, thank you so much, Ma'am Mary. Thank you for paying your due. You are a very good partisan. Continue to encourage other people to pay that dues.
You know, that hello?
Yeah. Be snapping now. Be snapping. Other people are calling.
There's another thing, because this due payment is a way of recruiting more people. It's a way of campaign. So that while some of us we really hard for it, there's another means. So you're doing well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Ma'am Mary. Hello.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Welcome to the CDC Hour. Your name and let's hear you.
Well, this is Mohammed Donzo Fofana Jr. And I do join you guys from the Somalia Jazz area, Alumina Park.
Yes, Mr. Fofana.
Yeah.
You know my uncle, right?
I just want to appreciate you for your hard work done for our party. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you always coming on the radio, you know, educating for our party. So I want to appreciate you. And also, I want to tell all of our people, you shouldn't, be disturbed. You pay your dues every month. I want to tell you guys to pay your dues every month. That is not nothing, but I want you to really get up time and to the party quarter and pay your dues. That was pretty low for 2029. People shouldn't just come on the radio saying about these. You guys are not, up. You guys are not.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Donzo. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so you listen to the callers, okay? You listen to the callers. Everybody is talking about decentralization of the process, the due payment, and I think the party is listening because the party is working that out to make sure to go to the district. People want to pay their monies. People want to pay into their party's account. People want to be associated with the successes of the party. We may have been defeated in 2023, but we are very strong. We remain resilient. We remain absolute. We remain determined as to what we want to do as a political institution. So seditionists, as Oliver Carlos Gray will always say, seditionists, he says seditionists are the women, the women sedition, okay? Women who are seditious are called seditionists by Honorable Gray. So I will use that. Seditious and seditionists who are out there, your party needs you now. Get ready. Be ever ready whenever the party call upon you to be ready to answer to the call of the party. This party will flourish more than this. This party is up for greater things. This party is up for success. This party is up to transform the fabrics of this country. This party is up to transform the image of this country. We are now in opposition. We are not deterred. We are not angry. We lost the election, but I think we are the happiest people, even having lost an election that was fiercely contested, bitterly contested, an election that made some family to be enemies, an election that made friends to be enemies, to be opponents. An election that brought up the bruises in families, in friendship, in brotherhood. Since the election, even the people who won the election are the ones who are really bitter right now. You can how can you win the election and be so bitter, and the loser is happy? It shows that we are a tolerant people. We are a tolerant people. We are congenial people. Our people are very, very resolute. But the people who won the election, they are bitter. They don't even want to see the people who lost the election. They've come taking people out of jobs. They have come salvaging a lot of things, violently uprooting people from tenured positions, dismissing civil servants on political lines, purging the civil service. We have one joker who is at the civil service agency, just dismissing people on political lines. Once you are affiliated with the CDC, he takes a job from you on grounds that but people who are on the job, who are members of the Unity Party, the ruling party, they play in politics, they writing politics on social media every day, on Facebook, on Instagram, and what have you. But they don't have problem with them. But they are taking people who are affiliated with CDC from their jobs. So that is wrong. It cannot unite the country. It cannot unite us as a people. Okay, put people on job who do not even know the terms of reference. Make somebody director, taking money every night, $3,000 going to play to the casino. I was, one of the directors at one of the United Party members, who works at the MPA, one Charles Rabos, right? The guy, he wrote the National Lottery Authority complaining the 50-50 casino. He said every night, imagine the guy's take-home salary is now up to $3,000 a month, right? But every night, every day, from 5:30 to 2 o'clock in the morning, from 5:30 in the evening now to 2 o'clock in the morning, that guy will go and sit at the casino, play $3,000 every night. Meaning the guy, every week the guy spends about $18,000 to $21,000. Where is he getting that money from? But he's a director at the port. He's a director for security at the port. So he wrote complaining the casino to the National Lottery Authority, and that letter came out. That letter leaked. So but those are the people that got on the job. People who are pillaging the country's resources. That's Sekou Douglas' best friend, the MD at the National Port Authority. So it's to inform you the kind of industrial looting the guys are doing at the National Port Authority. You know, imagine if a line director responsible for security at the port will get $3,000 every day. Every day. What is that guy doing at the port? Does he have a money tree? Does that guy have a ritualist vomiting money for him every day? Does he have a money tree at the port that he'll be able to get $3,000 every day to play casino? You know, and the guy is not winning. The guy says he plays every night, he doesn't win. The casino just eating his money. You know, so he wrote now complaining the casino to the National Lottery Authority, the supervisor for all, you know, lottery across the country. You know, so this is where we are. You put gamblers in charge of the state. Gamblers, irresponsible people in charge of the state. What do you expect? The economic situation is very volatile. It's very difficult on our people. Our people cannot get a fitting meal a day. Everything's price has increased. Everything price has increased. Go to the market. Some of the goods in the market increased 40%, 30%, 25%, 20%. So creating economic burden, a very hardship on our people. But these are the same people who, when they were in opposition, were making a loud mouth. Oh, the country is difficult, people are dying, and so. But now they have come and pillaging the country's resources, violating the laws, trampling on the rights of people right now. And so the country is like it's not a serious country now. The one serious country we had has now turned into a laughing stock under Joseph Boakai. And I can safely tell you that, Mr. President, the president is not in charge of the country. He's not in charge. People are pushing him, you know, pushing him here, pushing him there. He's not decisive as a president, you know, and the government has, you know, to steal your resources. The guys there are so many of them are on the bench. So because they are on the bench, most of them do not have jobs, even their own people. So once you steal money, right, they suspend you. The president suspend you, and you carry the money. They bring new person. They suspend you, the money you stole, you carry it, and they bring new person, because that is it. Each person should have about 6 months or 1 year or 1.5 years. Once you're in a small financial impropriety or big problem financially at your entity, they suspend you. They bring new person. But the most important thing is people who have been suspended or dismissed are not being prosecuted. A single person has not been prosecuted. Somebody say, oh, but the papa is suspending people. Is that all? You accuse the man of stealing, right? You suspend him from the job, but you do not prosecute him. They make care of the money. You bring new person. The person stole too. You suspend him or you dismiss him. The person carry the money. Is that how we are running the government? That is how the country is being run. And so the country's resources have been distributed through thievery. Yeah, people are stealing on industrial scale in the government. My dad, for example, when born at the $6,000 car. Imagine the most laughable thing is the man born at the $6,000 car. He said it's against the policy. Yes, it's against the policy, the government vehicle policy, because this policy says 45,000, right? The man bought vehicle for 96,000. He was pressured to resign on account of buying that vehicle. But then the man who pressured the minister to resign, the president has bought a vehicle worth $1.2 million. So a bulletproof vehicle, Lexus 2025, I understand, 2025 or 2026 model. Okay, the president is riding now. Bought one for the vice president, bought two for the president, for himself, you know. And so imagine buying vehicle $1.2 million, times 2.4 million dollars, one for the vice president, also another one was $3.6 million. So that's where whereby vehicles were left in a very ideal good condition for the president to ride, but he still has those vehicles and buying new ones. So the president's motorcade now is worth more than $3 million. So, ladies and gentlemen, if we don't have any caller, I mean, we have just 1 minute remaining. So, on Friday, we will have the CDC USA chairman phoning into the show, so you can listen to him. The whole country will be listening to the CDC chairman in USA. Yeah, Chairman Yaya Talata Sharif. He will be dissecting the CDC's activities in the United States, or in other countries in the diaspora, and also will be able to weigh in some of the economic situation in the country, the political situation. On Wednesday, we will have a guest, but I can't tell you now who will be the guest, but we'll have a guest definitely on Wednesday. So on this note, every good thing must come to an end. So we come to the end of the CDC hour for today on Monday. So our next episode will be on Wednesday, on the same time on Kings FM 88.5 and Cloud TV. Until then, I'm your host Ishaka Sharif. Bye bye. Have a nice day.
We'll celebrate. We'll celebrate. We'll celebrate. It's a holiday, your movement. We'll celebrate. You be bad as in your way. We'll celebrate. Nothing you can tell us now. We'll celebrate.